I have a question for you all. How do you think it would go down in real life if there was a story about a woman who burst into a jury room to kill everyone, and this lady revealed that she was a superhero and saved all of their lives, and then her office fired her for being a liability?
Oh,
How do
yeah,
you
the
think the
office
world
would
would
get
take that
canceled.
information?
Yeah.
In today's
I
day
was,
and age, very differently.
It would be
I
a
mean,
bigger deal.
That was
I just,
that
I
was
just,
an
There'd be
interesting choice.
GoFundMes. There
I
would
couldn't
be
believe it. Like everyone's like, we
GameStop
can't hire you.
petitions.
But
You're too
Muller,
distracting in the courtroom. Yeah, there's never been a lawyer that was like high profile. That's just never happened.
Yeah, I would like to
Yeah.
see like maybe a 2-week period where she doesn't know what to do. She starts an OnlyFans. She comes to her senses. She's like, I have a law degree.
You know, I timed it though. Like there's a gap of 6 minutes between her getting fired and then getting rehired by the new company. 6 minutes of screen time where she's unemployed. Like
She's very
that's how
sad.
fucking quick this show has to be. It's
real.
like
They show
nothing
her having a
fucking
drink.
matters.
The dumb
They
thing
show
is, she's a lawyer. She can start her own law firm. Like, she doesn't
She can do all
have to
kinds of
have an
things.
office that she works at. She can
sorry,
start her own.
I just don't believe it. I don't believe that the firm would have the balls to fire a woman who just saved everyone's lives for that
Right.
reason. Remember,
good
he's
point.
like, you saved their lives, so they managed to get the mistrial. As if the fact that the table would landing on the jury wouldn't have fucking caused a mistrial anyway. Like, what difference does it make? And he's like, well, now that you gave them the opportunity for the mistrial, you're at fault. You're the liability. That logic doesn't make any fucking sense at all. Like,
Well, of
and
course,
she even
their
says,
logic
she does-
is make men bad.
Yep.
well, of course.
That's their logic.
That's what this
she
show
even
is.
gives him the Man of Steel question. What should I
Yeah.
do? Let him die? He doesn't
Yeah.
say maybe.
And to
But he
Anna's
does-
point, like
He doesn't essentially just
sorry,
get her
Vaughn.
fired. It's absolute bullshit. It's a shitty plot point just to get us to the next step.
to Anna's point of like you have a template of a good story that you can follow that would be a success. It's like I think it ultimately comes down to selfishness and wanting to kind of like rewrite history in a way. It's like, how can we kind of like break this down and reform it in what we want?
You know what it feels like?
Want.
I said I predicted this when I saw the trailers, and it's for so far it's exactly come true. This entire show is just like a multi-million-dollar coping session for the writers. Because what you're seeing here is like what they wish they had been able to do in their own lives. Like the scene right at the beginning where she gives her closing arguments, she's rehearsing in front of her co-workers, and the guy questions her, and she's like, "Yeah, fuck off, you're out of here," and he just gets sent out the room. Like that's without a doubt something like that has happened to one of these writers before, but they didn't stand up for themselves.
It's like
They
success
wished they had.
LARPing. Mm-hmm.
Exactly, yeah. Like the same bit where the guys try and hit on her outside the bar. They're a little bit too forward, and she hulks out, and she's about
that's
to
not
fucking
even how men
squash them.
act in Mexico. You really want to
No.
see creepy guys? Go to fucking Tijuana at night and see
That's
how
it,
long you
like-
last.
The show
I
couldn't
live
even
here.
commit to making them properly threatening. They're
No,
just like
they weren't.
guys
They were
who-
nice. I'm like, you're in Mexico and they're that clean. Like, what is? They're probably nice tourists. Like,
But-
what?
Nina,
I kept
why are
again,
you not
like,
wearing an I
probably-
Heart
yeah.
Mexico shirt, Nina?
They need to
I
start
again,
want
the
one
line.
of those. I want one of those shirts because I do
Yeah.
heart Mexico and I live here. And you know what? I've actually
look like it.
experienced like 20 Mexican dudes just following me around with my girlfriend.
Lucky.
But the only reason it happened though was because my girlfriend was hot and she was blonde and white, and they love that look. They don't love my look because I look like every other Spanish girl, so I don't get the crazy cat calls. But this girl, so I was with her and we were at the beach and we're going to the bathroom together, and this like all these guys just start following us to the bathroom. But they all kept their like distance at a very respectable way. They were just following us and telling
This is
us that
starting
we're
to
hot.
sound like Taken, Nina.
It was so funny though. It was the funniest scene that I've ever seen because they were in a respectable distance, but they just kept following us and being like,
They're like
"Mamacita,
respectable
you're so hot,
stalkers."
caliente." Yeah, and I was just like,
Yeah.
well, at least they're like not being creepy to come and
So you
touch
didn't
us or
punch them then,
something. It was just
you
like
punch
having.
them?
No, it was like being
She'd
a
die if she
superstar.
punched them. Oh my
Th-
god!
This is the thing. Like, this is the point I was making there. Is like what this is probably some variation of this has probably happened to the writers at some point where they've
Right.
been given shit by men outside a bar,
Mm-hmm.
and they
Yeah.
probably wished that they had stood up for themselves and been like, "Yeah, fuck you, you pricks." What they probably did was slink away and feel mad about it for the rest of the night. And this is their therapy. This is like
Right.
this is what they wish they had done.
Right, they're
and
not
that's
looking
what
at
the whole-
themselves like,
But
oh,
that's
I
what I
shouldn't
mean,
have
yeah,
gotten too drunk and stayed around until 2 a.m. till the cleanup crew. And then, of course, all those creepy guys that are lurking around when the bar is closing. It's like, you're not looking at the decisions you make. You're like, how can I just be the victim and be like, no, it's all the man's fault.
Yeah, but I
this is what
question
I mean. Like
that though,
the whole
Drinker.
show is just like about them. Like it's almost like wish fulfillment. It's not about the actual
Right.
audience or telling a good story. It's about like the writers just validating themselves. That's what
I
it feels
question
like.
that though, that experience thing, Drinker, because I'm telling you, no woman, if they've ever been freaked out about guys or something that's happened to them, would go to the bathroom and then have a bunch of women show up and then like just put makeup on you and then tell you to go fuck yourself, like by yourself, like somewhere else.
No.
It's just not realistic. It's not
I-
something that would
I
ever happen.
I tell you what though, right? I love the idea of like if like walk into a bathroom, I'm covered in like mud and shit because like I've just woken up somewhere. It's like instead of washing, I'm just gonna put makeup on to cover it up.
There are some girls that are
Um,
that stupid, but also like, what
Well,
girl
Jay
is going to
Longbone's,
give you her pair of
video-
shoes and a jacket? Like,
No.
I, that's the most
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
unrealistic part of
Okay,
it.
It's
so
so
this is-
triggering. This what happens
this
in
is-
the
you know,
bathroom with
yeah,
women.
call
It's
me-
like
call
it
me
never is
crazy
like
for
that.
Like the
Call me
whole-
crazy,
yeah.
right? If I was a woman and I saw another woman in a bathroom, like she was clearly like looked like she'd been attacked, and she was like her clothes were all torn, her hair was messed up, she was covered in mud and shit. I'd be like, all right, I need to get the cops in here.
Call
Like,
the police.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
don't need a makeover. You need like police attention because something
Also-
bad has clearly happened to you.
Jay Longbone's video, she put together that she theorizes that they probably wrote the scene where she was quote unquote harassed by the people asking to go out first, and then they were like, wait, this doesn't really make sense, right? Because if you had her covered in blood and torn clothing, you'd have to be a pretty shitty guy to be like, hey, sexy, you want to do more? So they were like, oh, we're
You ever
gonna have
been to a
get it.
Scottish nightclub, more?
It's funny. Jay Longbone's argument was like Disney would probably even be like, "Oh, this is a bit awkward. We need to justify it a bit better." And so that's why they gave this absurd nonsense makeover scene so that she's facing their back to him, so all they can see is her hair and the coat. So they don't see the blood, they don't see the torn, they don't see the expression. So they can just be like, "Hey, baby." Which again, Disney writers are hilarious to me because they did it in Captain Marvel. What was the Don's biggest sin? He touched her map.
He was too beautiful for this world.
He was too prolific, you
That
know?
he was
And
nice to her. That was his
they don't-
problem.
they don't correctly have him cross the line. You need her to be like, I'm not interested, and then they grab her hand and pull her back, and they're like,
Right.
hey,
Yeah,
come here. And
yeah,
then
something
that's when
properly
you can get a
threatening.
slap. You can get a punch. You could even have her slap them, and then they grab her like, hey,
Right.
fuck you, and then she's got the right to punch. Go ahead.
Well, I think too with this show is what they've done right out the gate is just bombard you with so many instances of, oh, these are things women go through, that to the point to where it's too much to even absorb, to where it just feels like a bunch of pandering. Because let's face it, some of these things do happen sometimes. There's
Yeah.
plenty of valid instances where, yeah, we are scared to walk outside at night, things like that. There are plenty of valid situations where that happens, but the problem is whenever you shoehorn as many
Yeah.
of these incidences all at once like that, then it doesn't come across as genuine. And if anything, it makes these
It
actual
diminishes it.
valid instances less serious, to where people
Mhm.
aren't going to take it as serious anymore.
Well, you know what it reminds me? It
exposition,
reminds me of like,
yeah.
have you guys ever seen that where an AI writes a script on how they think humans
Yeah.
interact?
Yeah.
It feels like they gave it like points, like her getting catcalled, her this, and this, and an AI wrote the
I
script.
shit you not, man. That is like 90% of Marvel now. It's just
It
like
really
AI wrote it.
is. It's like people that don't have any real life experiences,
Right.
like writing this stuff, and I'm like, literally, you own these comics. Go grab the John Byrne run and fucking do it, and you will make millions upon millions of dollars.
You know, part of the problem as well, though, is like a lot of this stuff that we're discussing here, like the idea of guys harassing you to the point where it's like proper threatening stuff. Like people are getting slapped around and stuff, and like violence is going to happen here. Like that's pretty dark, serious stuff,
Right.
But it's a complete juxtaposition between that and what they want this show to be, which is just this happy, clappy, lighthearted comedy where everything's fun and nothing really matters. But like you're choosing as the writers of this show to try and tackle stuff like this, but you're doing it in this like comically
Right.
lighthearted way.
Yeah.
you're fucking
hard to make
making
that
the rod
funny.
for your own back. Yeah, like you're kind of like trying to do things that are just
not really
completely
that
in conflict
smart.
with each other.
Yeah.
Well-
Yeah, it's just like you don't have the writing skill to be able to marry those two things together. So what you
Mhm.
get is this stupid halfway house where nothing has any weight behind it. And so characters' actions seem completely out of proportion to what they're actually up against.
And I think that what gets to me the most, and this has just been a pattern now, and like I mean, Mahler, we talk about this all the time on the Real BBC, but it's just it's this pattern now with the MCU where it's like this constant. Let's put down the male characters in order to lift the women characters, and I'm
Mhm.
sick of this blueprint that they're following. I hate it. I can't stand the Hulk being a joke. I can't stand Thor being a joke. It's just every single male character is a joke all the time. And I like, and it's just they're evil, they're bad. Oh, like the like the first episode, it's like the whole Captain America, like being a virgin thing. Like it's so
Yeah.
disrespectful, so
Yeah.
fucking retarded. Like I'm just
Did
like,
you
why?
Yeah, like
Did you
of all the
spot that
guys to go
on-
after fucking Steve Rogers, like probably like the
Right.
most
Yeah,
altruistic.
but yet
like-
again,
Well,
did
to
you
be
spot
fair,
on your
out of all
phone?
the Avengers, he's the only one who had dick pics leaked. So
That's
well,
true.
So, yeah,
You
have that
wanna
on top of the
Captain
fact that
America's dick.
her screensaver on her phone. Did any of you see it? She has Captain America's ass on her screensaver.
Oh,
No
really?
way.
No, I didn't
And I was
see that.
I was like, imagine any male character at Black Widow's ass as this screensaver. Imagine.
Very funny.
It'd be
I,
great.
Well,
if they
yeah,
would all
I
do
hate this
that.
because a lot of the time, like if you bring this stuff up, their justification is pretty much, well, we had to go through this for decades in Hollywood.
Now
and
you
so
guys got to do it. As
Yeah, and
if
it's like, it's
people
your
haven't fucking
turn.
done that with men forever anyway.
Well, Anna, you fucking did a perfect tweet about this the other day, where it was like you showed all the shirtless guys who are like they must have killed themselves in the gym for months to get in that kind of shape, and it's like
She's
it's all for
complaining
those
to
money
get in shape
jobs.
for She-Hulk,
You-
and it's
You
like,
know,
do you not see what the men do the second
Yeah,
they
it's
find that
part
there's
of
a
the job.
Paul Rudd is in
Yep.
his
Yeah.
50s. Never in his life did he have a six-pack until he started playing Ant-Man in his fucking 50s. So give me a fucking break. Oh my god, you have to play She-Hulk and work out? Like Melody does that every single day for free.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching this clip. I hope you found it educational or whatever. Anyway, just before I go, if you're interested in supporting this channel in any way, then my new novel, Dark Harvest, is now available to buy from all good online retailers, and a few shit ones. I'll leave a link in the description in any case. That's all I've got for today. Go away now.